Got it. Good morning, Irving. Love the hearts on the Instagram this lovely morning. All right, let's hit record over here. Got this party started for the day. How are y'all doing this morning? Afternoon, evening, whatever time you happen to be catching us. Because, oh, good morning, good morning. Because believe it or not, you all can be tuning in at any time. But all of you folks that were willing to jump on here live, I really greatly appreciate you all and appreciate you spending some of your morning with me or whatever time it is, wherever you're at. Us having an extra weekend this month made it easier for us to have a kind of easy, chill, like laid back, kick back particular day where I totally should have left it just open to Q&A. So whoever has the questions and excuse me, whatever other things you guys would like to discuss for us to be able to do that. But in doing so, I also wanted to just kind of recap for you guys what it's been like for the past quarter, what things for you all to be looking at and evaluating. And I'm going to get super specific on those things in just a moment because I want to make sure that you all have the best opportunity to be able to show up not only for yourselves, but for those that you care about in the most meaningful way. So in this moment, I'm just checking on my notes off to the side so that I can deliver, immaculate content. So last 2 months of 2023, this is our last Tuesday in the year. It happens to be a special day for a lot of folks in the world. Lots of children and adults will be doing what they do on this particular day. So I hope you all are safe out there and it goes super well. If you are a part of my email list, you may have seen some things coming out that are totally on the low. So it's only for the people that are in the know. The cool thing about it is if you are on my email list and there are some things that you find interesting or you're like, not so much for me, you can totally be sharing them with other people. So just to tap back into what these last 2 months look like, I want to recap just a little bit of what's been happening over the past couple of months because a lot of really awesome, cool things have happened. I would say in the month of October, just this month alone, the beginning of the month, I got an opportunity to go to Big Bear and participate in the yoga festival there, also supporting another peer of mine in their wellness retreat. It was nice to be able to be there and hold space. And I don't know if you all noticed this or not, but I hope you start to become this person because as you start to look at different arenas or areas that you may go into and different folks that you want to connect with, you want to make sure that you're bringing something of value also. So not just going to people's events and showing up like, what are you going to give me? Give me more, but how you can show up and not only receive and be poured into, but your presence alone enhances the experience for other people, for yourself, and being in a space of being there for other people, as well as being there for yourself first. So being selfish, as we've talked about throughout this month, being selfish so that you can be selfless and giving your gifts while you're there. I mean, you're already there. You can totally give a little bit of you that allows other folks the opportunity to get to know you better or know themselves better. You can choose to journal it, keep it for yourself, and maybe share it at a later point in time. But looking at how you show up for you and the energy that you bring to a situation. So you've ever noticed when you've been in a bad mood or a bad space, those times that you still choose to go out and be in public, nobody has a really great time with you because you were the killjoy. How can you be intentional about not being the killjoy? So going to the Big Bear Yoga Festival and like I said, being a part of a weekend retreat was a pretty awesome event. Coming back, I should just look straight through my planner what I've been doing with my life. But being able to come back and then even just showing up for the people that I care about, for the ones that I love. I went away to a conference, and it was hosted by one of my mentors that was specifically for therapists and, healers, people that are providing services to other people. And in that, the day before, I had the opportunity to participate in a mastermind. This mastermind has been going on throughout the year, and it's my second year having done it. And what I gathered from that, and really looking at what did I get, what did I give, and how did I improve the version of me that showed up, I looked at something, and I want to say someone said it to me maybe the year prior. And at that moment, I realized, man, I missed an opportunity in some aspects and totally gained in another. And that not only was showing up to the mastermind to get information, but it's also how can I, or how was I able to give? What was I able to pour into other people? What knowledge that I have that could have helped somebody else's process or progress? So being aware of myself and my strengths and what things I innately already know, or history of having done things that I already know that I could offer to someone else that was exploring maybe that revenue, that aspect of showing up for themselves and being available to pour into others, while also simultaneously allowing myself to be open and available for other people to pour into me. The next couple of days from that conference, having the opportunity to be a panelist, which I stated the year before, I don't even know that I necessarily told anyone, but I had told myself. And this is something you can take it, leave it, totally up to you. But every time I join a event, a coaching program, something, I've kind of made it my goal to be a person that stands out. And the way that I stand out may look different depending on what type of group or goal it is, but I wanted to be on the stage. When I seen other people on the stage, I was like, I need to be up there. And it wasn't that I couldn't have been the year before, but me being as sure and aware of myself, hence me being selfish about what are my gifts, what are my tools, and like being comfortable with selflessly letting those overflow and share to other people, because I was comfortable and confident in who and what it was that I wanted to be giving to the world. Hence me being comfortable with feminine energy and sharing about it and talking about it. It's not something new. I actually have been learning about this since about 2015 with yet another coach that I had the opportunity to work with for a few years to learn multiple different healing modalities and tools that allowed me to start accessing a greater version of myself, starting with my own feminine energy, which I'll tell you guys more about that some other time. Or maybe if you're in my emails, you'll be seeing more about it and opportunities for that in the first place. But what I gained from that is noticing me being determined to get the most out of what I showed up for allowed me to give even more exponentially to other people that I didn't even recognize the amount of impact it would make. But my determination to be worthy of being on the stage, to be, hey, I see you on Instagram, being worthy to show up on the stage and have something of substance to offer and provide to other people meant I needed to do more work on what it is I wanted to do, be, and share, so that it was pretty effortless to be chosen to do something. It was a no-brainer. Of course, this person would have great content or things to share because she's comfortable with who she is, how she is, and what it is she's showing for the world. So with that, graduating from being a part of that mastermind definitely held a very close space in my heart. And then coming back the next weekend and being able to celebrate my youngest daughter's birthday, which if you've ever heard, I feel like you're supposed to celebrate the parents because they brought you here, but that's a whole nother conversation. With that being said, it totally was a pleasure to be able to have different life things going on and still be able to show up, still be able to provide the space and opportunity for my daughter to have a great day, for her to embrace what it looked like to turn that age earlier in the year. If you all notice, I celebrated with my oldest daughter and the celebrations look very different. You guys might be seeing a little clips of what it looks like for me to pop in on my daughter having a great time with her friends. And of course I had to join in, but you'll see more of that later. With that, closing that out, being able to come to this particular last day, literally, of the month and planning for the next month, and the next 2 months. So the last 2 months of this year, figure why not take this day to really prompt you all to check out some things for yourselves and look at what are some of the things or highlights that you wanted to reflect on this past year, this past quarter, just the past month. But what are some of the things and the accomplishments, some of the challenges that turned into silver linings for you? But what were some of those things that you would want to reflect on and just give yourself a moment to embrace? Okay, that happened and I did that. How often do you give yourself permission to be able to do that? Do you do this on a regular basis? Do you only do it at the end of the year? Do you only do it when it's time for someone to do an evaluation of you that might impact you making more money or not? I encourage you to get into a habit of doing it as frequently as you can. So in those moments where things feel like it's going to shit or going to hell, you have these things that you can totally go back on and look at. Well, clearly it can't be as bad as I think it is or feel like it is, because I'm also still the same person that was able to accomplish X, Y, and Z. The next area that I would encourage you to start digging into is planning for the future. So what do you want to do for the rest of this year? How are you going to show up? Who are you going to show up with? Who's going to get your time and attention? What commitments are you looking at making for 2024? And then what will you need to do? Who will you need to be for the end of this year to get there? Areas that you can start looking at to make these determinations can be, where are you spending your money? Where are you spending your time? How are you treating your body? How are you treating your mind? What is it looking like for you to show up for yourself as well as showing up for other people? Are there roles that you want to maintain or enhance? Are there roles that you are about to let go because they're no longer significant or important to you? Giving yourself that space and opportunity to assess on a regular basis. So whether it's once a year, ideally, maybe once a quarter, if you're like super for it, once a month, but giving yourself a chance to look at what are the things that are working for me and what are the things that are not. How do I want to make changes or shifts to allow myself the opportunity to show up as the greatest version of me? So that looks like, yeah, you're going to have some tough conversations periodically. And the first ones start with us, because we do have to remind ourselves, like, yeah, I said I was going to do this, but it no longer feels like it's working for me. It's not allowing me to actually thrive. I'm just existing or maybe even surviving. When you're looking at these different things that you want to change or shift, and as you guys see, my cup turned to hot. I know this is a minor happiness for myself to have a Krispy Kreme cup that changes colors when it's hot, and when it's not, it goes back to the same color. Anywho, going back to revisit and reflect. After you've looked at all the things you've accomplished, the challenges that you've been over to overcome, you're looking at, what do I want to plan for the future? How do I want this to set up? What areas am I going to be looking at? Giving yourself a chance to meditate on it, pray on it, reflect on it, maybe check out some resources from other folks, and give yourself that 100% go to go all in on what it is you want to do for you, to take action. Like, don't wait till later. Go ahead and take actions now, which kind of brings me to being able to look at, for the next 2 months, I'm definitely rapid fire going to be sharing lots of different things with you all and lots of opportunities that will only happen for most of them annually. So 11/11 is Veterans Day. You all are totally invited and highly encouraged. If you ever wanted to tap into doing yoga in person and you wanted to try it, but always felt like maybe it wasn't accessible to you, or maybe the people you saw doing it didn't look like how you look. I historically used to teach yoga at my own yoga studio in South LA for a while, and then closed that particular business because those stories are available at a later point in time. Nothing bad, just taking a moment to reflect and revisit and recognize it wasn't something that was doable at that point in my life. Moving to a space of being able to provide yoga at like the YMCA that was closest to where I lived at the time, and then moving into a space of only doing it virtually and having a few private folks here or there. I eventually stopped. When COVID hit, I was like, yeah, I'm good. We don't even have to do this anymore. because of the overflow, because of me getting deeper into like really my own feminine energy and how I want to show up and offer and help things, I am absolutely looking at more opportunities where I will be able to offer things in person that don't require a massive commitment. Like it's an hour of your life, not that deep, people, not that deep. And be able to give something that maybe doesn't seem like it's that major, but having the opportunity to be in a space with other folks and move your body and do so at your own pace, listening to what your body has to offer and being okay with what that looks like. There's something about it that if you haven't ever done it before, why not go ahead and do it now? On 11/11, I'll be in the city of Monrovia. You'll definitely be seeing some information coming out about that, as well as, like, again, if you're on my email list or newsletters, you get those all the time. What was the other thing? Also in the emails and secretly, there's been a launch for a membership. So if you're curious about that, send me a DM. I may be sharing more about it later in the month, but by the time I share it publicly, I promise you that price tag will have gone up. The value definitely will not have, like the value will be probably even more. But if you want to get in on that entry level, that founder's level space of all the awesomeness that's available there, you definitely, and it is specifically for women. So if you aren't identifying as a woman, feel free to share it with one that you think might be wanting to embody a little bit of her feminine energy and how she wants to show up and make sense of that difference of feminine and masculine so that it's accessible. Send me a message, hit me up. I'm available before it gets released publicly, because once it does, it will absolutely be more. And that investment into the awesomeness will still be absolutely worth it. But who doesn't want to get in on a good early potential Black Friday sale or deal? So those are those two things. And then towards the beginning of the following month, so in December, our Goddess Vibes Unleashed Summit will be returning. So not only will I be looking at some of our old folks that are coming back, because we are doing it in a condensed, we're going to have like one day, a power pack, just all the info ever. And I am looking for a couple of new folks to join. If you are previously a part of it or interested, definitely reach out to me. We will be interviewing folks and speaking with them over the next week or two, so that when December hits, we will be able to go ahead and give y'all all the awesomeness ever at how you can access releasing and unlocking your goddess vibes and allowing the world to see your greatness. And that is for everybody, not just women. Everyone has feminine and masculine energy. So why not look at how you can embody both of them intentionally in the way that you want to show up as your greatest version of yourself? After that, in December also, we will be looking at our reclamation. I don't know if it's a reset or how I want to describe it this year, but last year it ended up being the first. So this is going to be our second year of doing it, and it will be an opportunity to be in person, an intensive in the sense that we'll be covering a lot of information and a lot of content. You're going to be given a lot of tools and a lot of things and ways to be able to set and plan out how you want to do you for 2024. It's also a super great gateway into a coaching cohort that will be starting again in January, and we're still up in the air on some things on how we want to go about delivering it, but you guys will definitely be kept in the know and maybe even have opportunities to vote on what that looks like. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Also, I'll probably be supporting some of my girlfriends and their events, so being able to show up for them and show up for myself will definitely be happening over the next couple of months. I think that's about it. Check with my team real quick, but I think those are the things that we've got going on coming up next. And previously, before sharing it with you all, there was a necessity for me to sit and look at what is it that I want to be doing for the end of this year? How am I setting the end of this year up for the beginning of next year? Who do I need to be? Who do I need to talk to? Who do I need to meet with? What do I need to share? So how can I be selfish and give to myself? So what does that look like? Then how do I selflessly start sharing with other people? And then what are the things I'm going to need to maintain this schedule that I'm putting out there? And then how will I persevere through it and be comfortable with, like, everything might not be effortless or flawless, but it's still going to be happening. This is what I want for you all too. So any questions, thoughts, concerns, any aha moments, feel free to share them. Totally looking forward to hearing about it. And again, if you are not on my email list, you miss out on awesome opportunities all the time. On Wednesdays, we have a Wellness Wednesday, just giving you some tips and reminders about how to take care of yourself. And on Friday, we definitely focus on Freedom Fridays, how you can be free by 5 and what that looks like to start owning a little bit more of you. So not only am I given these lovely tea talks, but in the newsletter, there's golds, there's gems. Feel free to tap into it and see what you like from it. Keep what you want, share what you like, and disregard what doesn't work for you. And if you know that what I'm talking about doesn't work for you, like, unfollow me. You're reassessing and reevaluating for the year. You don't need to be having folks feeds pop up that you don't find interest in. Unless you do, then by all means, stay tuned in, tap in, tell a friend to tell a friend. And I look forward to seeing y'all every week. Well, I hope y'all have an amazing day. And if you're looking for those opportunities if you don't want to figure out how to reflect on your moments that were great and how to plan for your future alone, you can totally join us as we start rolling out these different opportunities and events. Like I said, next month, 3rd annual Veterans Day Yoga. This year won't be donation-based or free because I am partnering with a gym that I have worked out at for the past few years and definitely been a part of my maintenance. And we will be hosting it in Monrovia at their new location. It's called Elevate Fitness. In December, 2nd annual reclamation. It was called a retreat, but it's realistically going to be the reclamation, blah, 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 blah. We're figuring the name of it out. But the bigger picture is you're going to have that opportunity to really come show up and show out for yourself and set yourself up for next year's plans, looking at what you've already accomplished for this year and how you want to take that momentum and move it forward into next year. And, oh yeah, there's still that secret little invitation to maybe a Goddess Vibes membership. That might be what's happening. And if you're not on the email list, you don't know about it yet. So send me a message, send me a DM. I'd be more than happy to share the info, share the link for the info, sign up on my, what is that channel thingy on Instagram, something like that. Feel free to sign up on there because I definitely been sharing it with the lovelies in that particular group too. You might get a couple of more candid, free-flowing availability of observations, things I've noticed, things I just want to share and feel like, why not share with an intimate group of folks that wanted to spend the time with me in the first place? So I hope y'all have an amazing day. I look forward to seeing y'all later, and check your emails, send the messages, tell a friend to tell a friend. There's lots of opportunities to meet in person coming up, as well as different opportunities online. So have an amazing day, y'all. And I will